Hey guys, Jenna here. Today we're traveling to Phoenix, Arizona to take a tour of Greg's sleek and cozy vintage Airstream conversion. Greg completely renovated this vintage Airstream, creating a unique space to host guests on his property, offering a memorable experience for adventurous travelers. He has since been pleasantly surprised not only by the popularity of his Airbnb, but also by the reaction that he gets from his guests. So, let's take a tour.
Hi, I'm Greg, and this is the Phoenix Vintage Airstream Airbnb. I can't remember quite where I got the idea to build an Airstream. So it took me a long time to find this exact one, but I had to have an Airstream because I knew it would be memorable, and I loved the challenge of having teeny tiny space where every single thing had to be functional and there was no room for fluff. I took possession of the Airstream almost exactly 7 years ago. It took several years to build, not because it takes years to build an Airstream, but because literally every single thing in here had to be done custom. There are almost no off-the-counter parts that were used. My intention with it was always to make it an Airbnb, always to make it a short-term rental, and that's the only thing I've used it for since I launched it. It's a 1968 Overlander, which is 27 feet long. We're using the entire space for the dwelling space, so that's basically 27 by 6, about 150 square feet. I was able to fit a full bed in here. Our room for 2 people is the perfect couple's getaway as an Airbnb. You know, honestly, the surprising part that I enjoy the most is that cool spaces attract cool people. My guests have all been so appreciative. They get it. This is not somebody who skipped Motel 6 because they could save $5 by staying in an Airbnb. This is somebody who's looking for a unique experience, who travels for the sake of unique experiences. And since I like to do that myself, I wanted to create a space like that for my guests. So some of my favorite reactions have been people who had memorable experiences in here. For example, I had a couple that stayed at the Biltmore, which, if you don't know, is probably one of the most storied, prestigious resorts here in Phoenix area. And I said, from the Biltmore to the Airstream. And my favorite bit of that entire story is afterwards they told me, we wish we never stayed at the Biltmore because it was so much cooler and more interesting to stay at the Airstream. We wish we had done that the entire time, which I was blown away by. I never think of my space as comparable to something like the Biltmore, but apparently experience is the new luxury. A friend of mine who is a local artist designed these postcards for me, and my idea was that somebody staying here would want to brag and would want to send a postcard of their Airstream to their family or friends back home, just to let them know why they should come to Arizona. So inside you will see that everything is custom made. Let's start with a dinette. This is all hand built from Baltic birch plywood, and we couldn't curve the plywood on the caps, so the solution was to put in aluminum paneling that cascades down to the windows. The windows are actually traditional home dual pane windows because we bumped them out with the metal casings, and that allowed us to use just straight, non-curved glass on the inside. Here we went with a mini kitchen. We do have a mini refrigerator. I have an induction stove that people can use to heat up some food or cook some things, but really truly cooking here is limited, which is okay because there's a million super cool restaurants all around. The inside paneling is also Baltic plywood. We really like the idea of having contrast of cold rolled steel and aluminum and plywood, and then warm lights, and then natural light coming from all the windows that are all around us, which was a really cool idea. We have 2 air conditioning units. One original one, a wall banger, that was supposed to be able to keep the space cool, but as it proved in Arizona's 120-degree summers, it just didn't work well enough. So we added a second mini split unit, and between the two of them, it keeps the space really comfortable in the summer. I found a way to fit an entire full mattress in here. Below, we have 3 drawers with storage. These are extra linens and towels, and outside wool blankets for the fire pit that I provide. And then I have my supplies here, and then one of the drawers I keep open and empty for the guests to use. So I wanted to have a TV that could be seen from just about anywhere inside the space. So what we did is we put this smart TV on a rotating platform that allows you to turn it and be able to watch it from the dinette or the bed, whichever you prefer. I also have a Bluetooth speaker because I am a huge music fan. It was important to me for my guests to have quality sound and to enjoy it both indoors and outdoors if they were to go out in the yard. So in the back of the Airstream, we designed an all-in-one bathroom. And initially we thought about creating a shower cabin and then a toilet and a sink and everything else. But in the end, what made the most sense is to create an all-in-one space. There is no door between the main space and the bathroom. I would imagine that for newer couples, this is kind of an awkward transition, but somehow everyone has figured it out and it's just what it is. Or worst case scenario, someone can always go outside and give them privacy once they're in here. So what we have here is a completely enclosed in aluminum space that has a shower, a toilet, and a sink. And the entire floor is sloped toward the middle so that it all drains. Let's take a look outside. There's more to see there. So the design always provided for a deck where you can hang out and lounge around. And since the best time to travel in Arizona is our winter months, the indoor-outdoor living is a huge deal, especially since indoors is all of 150 feet, and here you have your own private yard. So out here we have a deck with a couple of chairs and a table in case you want to have your cocktails or dinner outside. I also provide a couple of beach cruisers, which the guests love. You are in Central Phoenix after all, and there's so many cool places to go right around here. So out here, this is one of my guests' favorite spaces. You've got a bench, I provide the firewood, and of course you're completely enclosed in your own gates. So one of the interesting things is painting the middle section of the Airstream and only polishing the caps. Gives it a really unique, neat look that you're not going to find anywhere else. So I actually run several Airbnbs right here in the area, and they're very different, but in similar style. My goal is to have a space that is very designed, that is very attractive, that is very memorable, unique, unlike anything else that you can get from hotels. My budget was about $15,000. We came in above 40, just above $40,000. Now, this is everything. This is building walls and landscaping the lot and moving things around and connections and the Airstream itself and every single piece inside that had to be hand built. And if you look at the return on investment on that, I mean, that's spectacular, provided you have the land, which I was fortunate to have. One thing that I am working on right now is replicating this in a little bit of a different way. I'm looking at some vintage Spartan trailers. I'm looking at some other Airstreams. In terms of business, it's been an absolute success, and that's why I'm thinking of let's do it again. But in terms of personal fulfillment and satisfaction, it's been a little bit of a surprise for me because people like it so much. People send such warm, glowing reviews that, to me, to think that I was able to be a small part of somebody's experience, that I was able to make somebody's day or vacation better or more memorable, that has been absolutely priceless to me.
Thanks as always for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you liked this video, and I'll see you next week with a brand new video tour.